Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be doing 1975 classic Dog Day Afternoon, starring Al Pacino. Of course, this movie is, of course, ever since it came out in 1975, been parodied a little bit. Especially, of course, the famous sequence where Al Pacino goes out of the bank and starts yelling, Attica, Attica. That scene has been parodied in almost every caper movie almost ever since, especially a movie this type. Of course, this movie shows Al Pacino as a guy named Sonny who goes in and just one day goes in and decides to rob a bank. He's in there with two other guys. One guy backs out and he leaves, leaving Sonny and his partner Sal, who wants to rob this bank. And everything that could possibly go, it's like Murphy's Law. Everything that could go wrong goes wrong. Of course, most notably, the thing that goes wrong is the fact that almost right away, the cops are called and negotiating, and this when it was almost a half hour or so into the movie. That's when you had the famous scene where Al Pacino was yelling Attica, Attica, Attica in the street. And all the bystanders wanted to see the action of the cops going with guns blazing and shoot and kill this guy. Fortunately, that doesn't happen. Of course, the reason why Al Pacino's character decides to rob the bank is, of course, for the sake to pay for his gay lover's sex change operation. And not many people know that this character was actually homosexual. Al Pacino's character Sonny was a homosexual until like more than halfway through the film. And so, and the bystanders are going, "Oh, he's a queer. This guy's a queer," And you heard in this movie, especially when news got out, the guy with that Al Pacino, Sonny was gay. You hear all kinds of gay jokes, gay remarks. Of course, nowadays, if this movie was made in 2017 instead of way back in 1975, they would have been named basis. This movie would have been protested by the gay community and everything else because of all the gay remarks, especially those scenes where Al Pacino was frisking a guy, like a doctor, because one of the hostages gets sick, and we're going to asthma. Another one gets sick, so he has a doctor come in. And he's frisking the doctor, making sure the doctor isn't having any weapons on him, and somebody says, "Oh, don't let him touch your junk." And we didn't say junk; it said something else. Make sure. And somebody else, "Oh, don't make sure he doesn't kiss you." And also make sure you don't bend over. All those types of gay stereotype stuff that was going on in this thing, and of course, like I said, the main plot is, of course, rob the bank just to get money for his lover's, or should I say, husband or wife, because he didn't actually marry this guy. Believe it or not, it was back in the days where gay marriage was completely unheard of, and he actually married this guy. I mean, back in 1975, in terms of gay marriage, doesn't even exist back then. And then, until of course, an episode with Seinfeld when they had Elaine going home to a lesbian wedding, that type of stuff didn't even exist in 1975. It was like a pipe dream back then. Now, but again, the cops actually, instead of wanting to kill Al Pacino's character, they wanted to kill his partner Sal, or his fellow bank robber Sal. Of course, Sal gets annoyed because they had like a little TV inside the bank, and they watched the footage of the bank robbery. And of course, the word got out and called both of them homosexuals. Of course, Sal gets annoyed and says, "Hey, I'm not a homosexual. Hey, I don't like to turn calling both of us homosexual. I'm not a homosexual." So he says to the cops, he says, "Okay, no worry, tell the press that you're not a homosexual." Because they believe that both of them were homosexuals because they were raised the money for it. Of course, when Al Pacino was depressed over that, the news got out that he was gay, because he was actually married to an actual woman, and he had 2 kids with her. and I think like 2 or 3 kids, and that stuff came out as well, and well, coming out, like maybe a bad term for this movie, but the whole thing just seemed almost ridiculous at times in this movie. The reason why, well, I should get back. The reason why Al Pacino was screaming Attica was because it was a famous incident, or infamous incident in Attica prison, which is in New York State, where they had like a riot, like a stereotypical prison riot, and so there was a couple of prisoners who were killed, along with the prison guards or cops that came, state troopers came in to sell the riot, and so cops were killed, and so were a whole bunch of the prisoners. And so of course, that was around the time when this movie was made. So when Al Pacino started saying Attica, because he wanted to get his rights, take down the sharpshooters, and they're not going to kill anybody, and not hurting anybody, haven't hurt one person in there. And one of the bank tellers says it's right, he hasn't hurt anybody. The only one that was taken out are 2 people who came down sick, which is no fault of Sonny's. That's one of the things that happens, and it's a stressful thing, and just 2 people got sick. And that's about it. But in terms of the plot, I didn't think it was that bad of a movie, but I thought that they showed, instead of having within like the first 5 minutes of the movie, literally within the first 5 or less than 5 minutes of this film, that's when you had the bank robbery. And so the whole thing, the majority of the things of the film is in the bank, except for maybe the last 10 minutes or so, or 15 minutes or so in the film, when they finally got out of the bank and were transported to the airport, because Al Pacino wanted a jet to get the flight out, and that's when the cops took out Sal and leave Sonny alone, and they arrested Sonny, and he's been he got sentenced like 25 years in jail, whatever, for the bank robbery, and for kidnapping or holding people hostage and stuff like that. And his gay love, and they mentioned this in the end of the movie. They had like not a squall, but they flashed on the bottom of the screen that Al Pacino's love did get the money to have the sex change operation as a woman, and Al Pacino's character is in jail, and that's pretty much how how the movie ended. They got sentenced to jail for the bank robbery and stuff like that. But this movie is definitely one of the more famous. I mean, other than the Godfather movies and maybe Scent of a Woman, this is really quite sad. The only roles that Al Pacino was known for was the Godfather films, Scent of a Woman, and of course Dog Day Afternoon. And this movie does take place over the course of one day. Of course, obviously it's not filmed over. Movies are never filmed all in one day. But this movie takes place in one day in Brooklyn, and I don't know if that bank is still there today, 42 years later, after the fact. But I just saw it for the first time the other night, and it was last night, and it was okay. It was okay. It was entertaining for what it was. Al Pacino, of course, gives an over-the-top performance as usual in his movies, and he gives an over-the-top performance. And the movie did get 4 stars. I don't know why it got 4 stars. 3 stars maybe, because it has to do more with like Al Pacino's performance. Also in this movie, you also had Charles Durning playing the role of the cop. Of course, he was more famous, at least for kids anyway, more famous for being in the very first Muppet movie. And of course, later on, he was in the Dustin Hoffman movie Tootsie. So he was in a cross-dressing movie in Tootsie in 1982. But in 1975, he played the cop, trying to help out a gay bank robber, trying to get money for his gay lover and for a sex change operation. I mean, it was really, that plot for a bank robber is kind of silly. At least for those days, it was kind of silly, but it works. I mean, just about everything in this movie works, and believe it or not, I actually enjoy it. Kind of like Al Pacino, especially when he does an over-the-top performance like this. He's always pretty good. But of course, in those days, he always gave an over-the-top performance. But The movie is good what it is. It's if you're an Al Pacino fan, of course you should check after watching the Godfather movies. You should check this out, and then check out Scent of a Woman, and that's all you need to see in Al Pacino movies. So that's my review of Dog Day Afternoon. Please check on the please click on the video. Please rate it. Feel free to comment on it. Please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. And you can check out all my videos on my YouTube channel at RowdyC.com. That's all WDY, and then at C.com. There's the homepage to the Rowdy Reviewer, Chris Lee Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website as well. Thank you for watching. Catch you next time.